When something is considered holy or unholy, there's something behind that. So, many eras ago, when the processes by which things become sacrosanct or sanctified or even cursed, the process by which whatever mantra, whatever spiritual practice that was used, the science of it was known. Exactly what it does and how it does it. Over time, when people forgot how these processes specifically worked, they became just practices that still work, but we don't understand them. So they become holy or unholy. It becomes a process of just believing something out there is doing something, is sanctifying something or desanctifying something, rather than knowing that it's the actual process itself and how various words kind of touch reality, how it forms reality, how it shifts reality, and how various spiritual actions have an effect on the fabric of reality. So, belief is kind of where stuff goes when it's kind of where memories go when they're forgotten. We have beliefs about things, and we have, something being lucky or unlucky, for instance. We have certain beliefs about that develop into beliefs, but at one point we knew how they worked. We knew the processes by which they operated and how they touched the fabric of reality. The gods themselves are kind of a form of technology. They exist as a reality, but they also exist in ways that they touch a very specific part of reality or other dimensions or qualifiable substance in this world, in this material realm. They each have like their spheres of influence. So in a way, the gods are like technology, where you touch an element of reality through them and it changes depending on how in touch with that god you are, with that spirit you are, with that demon that you are. However in touch you are with that, the more accessible that technology becomes and its capabilities become to you. That doesn't mean the gods themselves aren't conscious or don't exist. They do, but they can be seen as I wouldn't go as far to say a tool, but yes, a tool, but a form of technology, a conscious form of technology. In a way, our bodies are like that too, our very bodies that these souls inhabit. But every god that we can, if we work with a god, we work with a spirit, we work with a demon. The more we work with that, the more devotion that we have, it picks up on that devotion, it picks up on that commitment. And it, gathers energy based on offerings and various things that you give up to that god. That's all energy that it can kind of consume. And if you direct everything the right way, it will affect a task that you so desire. But once again, gods are conscious. It's just, they can be thought of as a form of a way of touching reality, of shifting reality, of changing reality, and getting in touch with deeper realities. Because some gods, for instance, like Ma Kali, she's all about depth. She's not about stuff in this world. Maybe Bajra Kali is more like that, but still, Ma Kali, and how I understand her, she's about getting in touch with those deeper realities and seeing through the materialism of this world and the facade of time. That's why she's called Kali. Kala is time. Kali is a conqueror of time. She has many names, but Kali, the significance of it always being Kali, you have all these other names that attach to it. Bhadra Kali, Adya Kali, different forms of Kali, but Kali is always there. So what's the significance of, what's the holiness of conquering of time? It's touching of that part of ourselves that's immortal, that isn't affected by time whatsoever. That ultimately, it's just going back to the source, but at the beginning, it was the same as it's recording all this information, but in essence, it was the same at the beginning, and then when it goes back to the source, it's going to be the same material, but things will have been recorded. So Kali, being conqueror of time, she's about diving into those deeper realities and touching those parts of ourself that are those pieces of consciousness that are beyond time. Consciousness itself is conscious because remember, so much of our who we are identity is based on memories. So much of our understanding is based on memories, what happened before. But consciousness, the deeper it goes, the less focused or less tied to memory that it is. Surface level consciousness, thoughts, everyday operations, surface level consciousness. But there are parts of our consciousness that the deeper that you go into your own consciousness, the more not us it is. The more not identified with memories that we have it is. Ma Kali, she is that deeper reality. She is those gateways between those deeper parts of our consciousness and ourself, our spirit. But she often appears as having, all these different limbs on her being cut off of these heads, blood, unclothed but with these body parts, and on Shiva, standing on Shiva. And looking at her, you would think cursed, unholy, evil, bad, something like that. But if you understand the symbols and how the limbs are, negative actions that people were going to do that offered up to her, instead of doing negative actions, the heads represent thoughts that people discarded or egos that she severed from her devotees, negative thoughts that she's proud of all that we've given up, and she wears what we've given up, takes it from us and wears it as clothing. And she is cosmic. She couldn't have form without some kind of stuff to give her form, because she is always that cosmic womb, and she's given form by these things we adorn her with, by that she takes from us and wears them with pride for us. In a way, she takes that pride as well. She takes it away from us and is proud of us for us. But so when you dig deep into what the symbols mean, the limbs, but also the Trishula, Tamaguna, Rajaguna, Sattvaguna, and the three natures that make up everything in existence. She controls it, she has it, it doesn't control her. It's a trident, Trishula. But if you look deeper, my point is, you look deeper in these symbols, there is a holiness behind it. There is good behind it. There is purity behind it. There is the progress of all souls behind it. And what could be more holy than that? So sometimes what we consider as unholy, if we dig deep, it's actually holy, or there's a forgotten way. For instance, if you think that if you're actually just worshiping Kali, and you just take the literal interpretation of the limbs, like those are limbs of people, and you understand it that way, and then you offer up, let's say you offer up people's limbs or something terrible, that would be making the holy unholy. In a way, that would be desanctifying it. That would be I imagine there's some really lower form of Kali that maybe you could contact through that, but that would be the lowest form, because she's so many forms. But that would be taking something that's holy, making it unholy, and really that's how you make something unholy. You take its perfection and you flip it on its head, and then it's unholy. You take its skill and make it moronic or foolish or badly done. That's unholy. But then again, there's different people's unholy and holy. They're opposites for different people. A Luciferian might think that Lucifer or Luciferian rituals are holy. Even if they call them unholy, they're saying, no, this is the actual holy. Whatever Jehovah is doing is unholy. And people who follow Yahweh, Jehovah, Christians, they would see Luciferian rituals and be like, that is unholy. But it just depends on where you place yourself in your cosmological understanding of everything, and which perspective you're looking at the holy and unholy through. But usually, surface level is going to be unholy, in a more deeper esoteric way. Surface level unholy, deeper within, deeper understanding, deeper realization, deeper manifestation, holy. And that's why you got to look past the surface. But once again, there's a whole bunch of different ways that thousands and thousands of years ago our ancestors knew how to affect reality, and knew how it worked down to every singular little mechanism they were either saying or using. And then over time, it just had to become things about luck and belief, because we lost the specific understanding. But since this knowledge survived in belief, we still have an idea of it. It still survives in some way. We just have to uncover the actual specificity of it through personal gnosis, through personal practice. And that's a huge piece of all of our paths. Personal gnosis is invaluable. And over time, you might find your unholies becoming holy and your holies becoming unholy. And you might find your perspective completely changing your center of gravity, and changing what is unholy and holy for you. The deeper that you go and the more that you realize. But that is a path for everyone. And don't be afraid of personal gnosis. Don't be afraid of personal knowledge that you uncover. But you don't have to commit anywhere along the way. Just keep on uncovering knowledge, keep on diving in. And yeah, that's all I have to say about the holy and unholy for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button down there. It really helps out the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. I respond to all comments that are polite. At any rate, thank you very much for watching, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.